Today I'm going to be installing a Maui Sails boom front end onto my HPL boom. It has a stock boom head. It works really well for making sure it has good hold, but it takes a long time to adjust to make sure I have the right amount of pressure. I found this works well if you have one mast and you have the boom height at the same position, but if you need to adjust the boom height or if you're switching to a lot of different masts for the actual boom, it takes quite a bit of time. So this will help speed that up. First I'm going to remove the existing boom head with an Allen. Let's see if this, oh, that broke free nicely. Sometimes these can be stuck. This is coming off fairly easily. That's good. Oh, there we go. Like some salt water residue potentially. There we go. I'm just going to screw the stock pieces back in to keep it all in one place. Let's see what I have in the package. Well, there's parts list, but oh, nice. Has instructions. That's cool. We have pad, different types of shims, rubber shims, the main piece, the clamp, and 2 bolts. That's it. Oh, and the rope. What's nice is that it's very obvious which shim I should use. The 1mm shim is for a 40mm boom diameter, and the 2.5mm shim is for a 36mm boom diameter. The 2 ones for 36 and aiming the crack to the back, just like that. Most of the times when I rig a sail, this side is down just to attach the battens, and with the clamping on this way, that'll make it, I believe, much easier to attach if I'm pulling towards me rather than away. So this all makes sense. So I'm going to just open this up and put it on. In the instructions it said this may take force, but it's not very difficult, so just gonna go ahead and, yeah, it's not very hard, just a little bit of force. There we go. Make sure everything's lined up in the back. In the instructions it says place 2 O-rings right in between here as spacers. The kit didn't have any, and I'm not sure if they've modified it so you don't need the O-rings anymore or what, but I'm gonna go ahead and put these in here because the instructions said, and maybe they just fell out or something. Not sure exactly, but that should cover that part. Clamp on with the Maui Sail logo facing up. Just like that. And put the longest bolt all the way through. And place the shorter bolt. We use a 5mm. Pretty tight right there. Let's see how flex. Okay, so already it's really tight, and I want to be able to rotate it. Let's see if it spins a little bit. Okay, it does a little bit. There we go. So that's probably about as tight as I want to go. Let's play around with this and see if it's a little looser. Let's see if that really. It's still pretty tight. Let's loosen it up quite a bit more to where it's not even tight at all. Let's see how that behaves. Okay, so there it's really easy. So maybe it's just a little bit of a, I don't want it that easy. It's a little better. I think I figured out the nature of this spacer, this plastic washer or rubber O-ring, is you need this to be spaced off enough that this can be tight without it being finger loose, but also not too tight that you can't rotate the boom. Even though this looks plenty thick, it's a little too shallow. I need a little bit of a thicker one. So I'm going to play with metal washers, metal stainless steel washers, because I want this to be tight to where this isn't gonna come out loose, the screw isn't gonna come loose, but also where I can rotate the boom head without it being too much effort. Stainless steel washers are a tiny bit less thick than the O-ring, but they won't compress. This could be a really good tension and still have the boom head rotate without too much difficulty. Just slide them in here like this. Good. I'm tightening these down. The goal is to have, I guess, not loose and have it rotate. So I might have to go back and forth a few times with different washer thicknesses. It would have been nice if it came with the washers, because I think this would be pretty much instant, but at least this way I can fine tune the boom head to rotate. Now I got it to where I want this to be tightened as far as comfort level, and it is immovable. So I need a little bit thicker of washer, but it's pretty close because I removed a little bit of tension and it rotates perfect. So just a tiny bit thicker and I think I'll be good. I'm gonna try one thin washer and O-ring. I've got it pretty good. This is fine. I could go a little tighter. Let's see. Yeah, like that. Here there are tabs and holes, so just go to the bottom first. There we go. And it just says use the screwdriver to put it up and over. And it feels good and tight on both sides. Let's see. It's about as tight as I'd like. And I can still rotate it. Nice. I'm gonna thread the line, starting right through here. And pull tight around the boom and through this whole cleat. And it says in the instructions, about right here is where you want to start. You don't want to do it here, that's too much tension. So right about here. I can play around with that. But it's a really beefy, big clamping system, so I definitely, as long as it's not slipping, it doesn't need to be tighter than that. But this is great. Yeah, excited to get this on the water and try it out. And see how it works. This Maui Sails boom head rocks. It's really easy to wrap around to get it onto the sail. It's easy to clamp it on to get it at the right height, and it's easy to adjust the height. Sometimes with wind foiling, I slog, and it's much easier to have the boom low, and then when the wind picks up, just raise the boom. And this is pretty good for the actual resistance of moving the boom head, but I'm not that happy about the tightness. It seems a little too loose. So I contacted John with Isthmus Sailboards, and he found some extra plastic OEM washers. They're hard, not soft, so I think that it won't just keep on squishing down, and they're the right height. So my hope is I'll be able to have this a little tighter and it'll still give good rotation. Let's find out. Just loosen these up. Got the screws out. Just slide the rubber O-ring and the washer. There we go. This nice and level, so slide in. So goes in here. There we go. The next one in. Sides down. First one I do is I'm going to have it just as tight as it was before with my custom washers. And let's see. Okay, so that's really hard. Let's loosen it up a little bit. Okay. So that's loose. And that's pretty hard. That's really hard. So, unfortunately, the thickness of the plastic ones, for my personal preference, are still a little too thin. Another thing to keep in mind is this is a Maui Sails boom head going on a HPL boom. So the fact of this spacing being not flawless is okay. And the boom head's so awesome, I don't mind fine tuning it to get to this preference. And I'm sure it'd work with really, really hard clamping. There actually might be even less twisting force with a really locked on boom head. I just like the ability to adjust, because with foiling I have my boom high and usually I use the bottom clue position, so I really need a lot of adjustability to get the boom on and off quickly and efficiently. So we'll try the skinny washer and the stock plastic washer. Tighten this down. Nice, this worked out. I've got this tightened and then I can move it. It's nice and tight, but it's not that big of a deal to move. And I'm not concerned these screws are gonna come out. So yeah, good to go. If you like this video, like, subscribe, and share. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Thanks, have a great day.